What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. Today we have a special guest, literally, guys, with a minute left on what's going on with for me to pop onto the screen. I lost the internet connection. I was like, what the hell? Not right before the freaking show starts. So if you see that there was a little bit of a skip, it's because the internet went down for just a second, and I had to reboot everything as we try to get back into the screen. So welcome everybody to Let's Talk About It. I'm excited today to have a special guest. Let me share with you how I met this special guest. First and foremost, before we do those introductions, let's say hello to some folks that have walked in. What's up, Rick Rock Foodie? My brother is here. Vince is here. What's going on, Vince? And Mia 2K is here. What's going on, Mia? Long time no see. Happy New Year to you. So let's go ahead and get started here. I met our guest through last month. There, I had a previous guest that came on, Adrian, who came on, and he dedicated himself to doing live streams every single day starting December 1st. That's a hard feat to do. You already know how hard it is to do, to get on the screen. And if you've only done it 2 or 3 times prior to, you're just like, dang, I'm going to dedicate myself to doing it every single day, even if it was for 15 or 30 minutes. Well, my buddy Adrian, brought some folks on in those 31 days. He was able to learn the ins and outs of how to do a live stream, and he brought on some folks on there. And one of them that he brought on there is going to be my guest who's coming on board today. And so for 21 days, guys, so starting in about December 10th or so, Adrian had a guest that would come on every single day, because her commitment was to come on camera and to get used to being on camera, to get comfortable in front of the camera. And so her dedication was 21 days straight of getting on Adrian's live. It didn't matter how long it was. It could have been 30 minutes. It could have been the whole hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was. Just so that she gave herself an opportunity to hop on to onto a live stream and kind of get used to being in front of a camera, getting used to having a YouTube audience. So with that being said, you learn a lot about a person in 21 days. You learn a lot about what they may be afraid of, what their life has been, some of the questions that she's had about life and she's answered about life. So in 21 days, you get to meet somebody. You get to know who they are to a certain degree, what they want you to know, right? And so today we're going to dig a little bit deeper into some of those things that we heard from our guest. I have to tell you, I am impressed by her, and there's 3 reasons why. Number 1, you can tell that in her life, she's gone through things, and she's no longer allowing those things to kind of drive her. She's no longer in the passenger seat. She has taken control, and she's now in the driver's seat. So it's really exciting to see a young woman, a young Pinay woman at that, coming to her own and move from a passenger seat to a driver's seat. So that was really, really compelling to see, right? The other thing that I saw about her was her love for understanding and reflecting on who she is. Most of the time we live our life and we're just, allowing this matrix to kind of move us along in the world and allow people to make decisions for us and kind of move us in this chess game of life and let us do what we got to do, right? She understands that she has power. She understands that she needs to move in this world with intention. She understands that she needs to move through life and take the reins. So that's another thing I was impressed about. I was like, wow, this girl is like, wow, she's amazing. The third thing is that her drive to do something different. And and we're going to talk about her work, right? She said something that struck me. She said, I had to learn about myself and separate myself from being the work person and the soul person. I mean, she said it, and not so much that quote, but the way that she mentioned it was like, you can tell that she understands that in work mode, she's extremely assertive. She gets what she needs. She's very goal oriented, and that her work mode, her money making world is not the same as her heart world. And so she is now wanting to live her life through her heart and understanding that. She talks about meditation. She talks about understanding. She talks about the soul spirit. There's so much about her, guys. So I'm so excited, as you can tell, probably. I feel like I'm on crack talking about her, that she's just an amazing person. So without further ado, guys, I want to bring up our guest, Miss fwJESS. She is just starting out her YT page. So let's add her onto the stream here. Miss Jess, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Welcome.
Did you hear what?
Tell?
Why did you were you listening to what I was saying? Could you hear what I was saying?
Yes, you were like totally hyping me. I love it.
Well, I had
like, watching the live streams for those 21 days.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I gathered from you. And that's why I asked you, hey, be on my show. One, because I wanted to get to know you on a deeper level. And number two is I wanted to give you that practice again. Because that's something you said. You're like, I want that practice. I want to be able to get onto a live stream and have discussions and have conversations. So I thought, why not invite her and bring her back for 2021? And she'll be the first show for 2021.
I know. I actually missed the 21 day challenge already passed. But,
Yeah.
I've been going on live streams anyways because
Yes.
I miss you guys, and it's like once you like start talking to certain people, you just like want to talk to them all the time. But yesterday I didn't go on live stream and I felt off, and like now I'm like a little bit nervous, and I'm just like, oh god, what am I getting into today?
Oh, Adrian said that my sound sounds a little scratchy. Is that better? You know what? You know what it was? My microphone was tilted this way. Is that better, Adrian? Let me check my connections here. I've had some bootsy connections lately.
Is there any way I can see the chat too, or is it just you that can see the chat?
You should be able to see that little comment section, but then you'll come off camera.
Oh.
Do you have your phone where you can check the page?
Oh, you're so right. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy that I made it on time?
Yeah. At first, I got nervous, right? So what I do is I actually start it 5 minutes before, and then, and then 5 minutes even before I hit the live button, I'm expecting you to be in the back waiting, right? So when I didn't see you yet, I was like, oh shoot, I'm about to start before she comes on. And then literally within a minute and a half, you were there. Right? I was like, okay, good. At least I can get my spiel done and keep it moving. So hello to Super RP. Hello to Super RP is here. Thank you, Super RP, for being here. And Adrian is here as well.
Hi, Adrian. Oh, I miss you guys.
It sounds a little loud rather than smooth. Okay, let me fix. Maybe it's this, or maybe I'm just too loud.
Parky.
Both said it's too loud. Both said bring it down, but bring it down. All right. All right, there you go. I think I was able to adjust it. Maybe I'm just being too loud because I'm a little hyper today. I'm a little hyper because I think I'm even nervous to have a conversation on Let's Talk About It.
Are you nervous? When was the last time?
Eugene's was the last time I had the show.
Oh.
And that was already, enlightening in its own. But your lighting looks great. I love the tone on your skin. It looks really, really good. I was trying to adjust mine. I was like, any which way I try to do mine, it was, Live Talk with Liz is here too. Hey, Live Talk with Liz.
I really like your background though, because it's like, if you're not close up, it also looks like you're like in the studio with the lights beaming down on you.
That's what it feels like. I was trying to fix it. I was trying to make it so it didn't flush, but at the same time, I still wanted a little bit of darkness around me, just to kind of separate. And it was just not doing well. I think I need to change the actual tone of the color or of these lights. But anyway, Tasty Mafia is here as well. We got 10 people in the house, and Rich said the other day, well, Angelo's only going to have 11 people in his room, so.
I need one more.
Actually, it's back down to 8. So Tasty Mafia is in the house too. What's going on, Miss Tasty Mafia? All right, let's get started here, Jess. I do want to ask. We'll get right into it. And was I right in what I said? First, let me go back to just my initial observation of you. what did I say anything wrong? Did I misconstrue anything that I mentioned? And what I learned about you in 21 days? Anything you want to clarify? Um,
No, actually, you were actually pretty spot on. I think that maybe the things I talked about were pretty obvious that I'm more like into like spiritual stuff and like things like that, like soul searching or like things that have to do with deep stuff. But no, you're pretty spot on.
Let me fix my audio here. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes I think you're psychic.
Well, oh no, hell no, I'm nowhere.
You
I'm
have like
nowhere.
your very wise words and what you call it? Like there was that one time me and Adrian were talking about books or something like that, and then you were like recommending like a bunch of pretty cool stuff, and I was like, oh, he's a wise one.
We'll go back to that. I'm gonna fix my mic because Vince said that I feel like it's peaking a little bit, and you know what? I think it's my mic adjustment here.
Hi, Rich.
Okay, I made a couple of adjustments, guys. Let me know if that's better. All right. So let's dig into a couple things. One is your discussion about wanting to start a YouTube channel. Let's go there first because it's all about understanding where you are as far as a YouTube channel. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel if you hadn't already?
For creative purposes, because even before I met Vince or like Rich, any of them, I always was that friend that was like always taking pictures, always taking videos, things like that. So documenting stuff. So that's the reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel. But when I started talking to Adrian all the time on live stream, I kind of realized that I want to like have a podcast instead. Like I like talking, but
Yeah. So do you think that's changed? There's an evolution now. Rather than do a channel, you want to do a podcast.
um yeah, to be honest. Because
And it,
sometimes I'm in that stage where like I went through this stage where I always took pictures, videos, documented things, and then like I kind of went into this phase where it's like I don't want to actually broadcast everything about my life. Do you know what I mean? Like I want
yes,
to like kind of just enjoy, and then yeah, I like the talking the most.
the
But
the vlogger life could be extremely intrusive if you allow it to be, right? So whatever you record and whatever you put out there, the vlogger life can be extremely intrusive.
mhm,
The podcast life is a little bit more intimate in that you can guide the conversation towards where you want it to go and
mhm,
learn from other people on the other side. So let's say, for example, you have guests every single time you do a podcast. There, you guys are connecting in a way that you'll learn from each other's lives or
right, right.
gaining from each other's lives and your guys' experience. Um, and if you're comfortable there, I think that might be better for you. But I do know that I can tell from the last 21 days that you've really moved forward in that progression, meaning like I want to do vlogs, I want to be an influencer, I want to do this. And then now I see now that you're saying that, it makes more sense to me that a podcast life might actually fit better for you.
Yeah, because it's also like you can schedule a time, it's easy to schedule a time in and you can bring on whoever you actually want to talk to or that inspire you or you believe in and it's fun.
There's a couple people in here I want to shout out. Rich Benares is in the house. Thank you, Vince, for that feedback. Hopefully, the sound is a lot better. I saw in the comments there that it was. Everyone is saying hello. He's only wise because he's old.
Is
It
that what
sounds
Rich
good.
said about you before?
Yeah, girl. At 46, you're like, dang, you can't help but be old, and try to be wise. You can't be cutting
Uh-huh.
up for the rest of your life. Um, let's see. Rich and Rick Rock are fighting over here. Rick Rock, we're gonna have Rick Rock back again, guys. We want to talk about his success.
What is
Um,
Bing Bang?
Bang Bang Niner Gang.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Niner Gang. It's just when you represent the 49ers.
Oh, okay.
Represent the 49ers. Raf Kitchen's in the house. What's up, Rafi? How are you?
Uh-huh. Before we start, can you just let me know like I just want to know how your day went. Actually, how was your day?
Mine. Wait a minute. This is my show, girl. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
Doesn't sound weird because now I'm the one asking questions, and normally you're the one asking questions too. But yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Let me move through this really quick. A little bit of everything with Jaleesa is in the house. Hello, sis. How are you been? Long time no see. Everyone is saying hello to one another. Gene Hartman is in the house too. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. My day went fine. I think because I've been gone the last 6 days from my desk, it's like you get back, you have 200 emails, you have to go through them, reply to most of them as you can, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and so it was tough today. I think because yesterday I went back to work, but today was like really really busy. I mean,
Yeah.
then the next 3 weeks are going to be really super busy. So it's like prepare myself to just work overtime
Get
and
back into it. Like.
yeah, get back into it. And then with the loss of my aunt, I was feeling it again today when I was at work. And even my coworkers like, well, you've been kind of out of it. I'm like, I am out of it. Thank you for recognizing that. But I also have to recognize that too, right? So I'm sitting
Yeah.
there, I'm normally engaging with my coworkers, having conversations about other things or whatever. And at all, I didn't do that at all yesterday or today. And so one of my coworkers just stepped up and said, are you all right? And I said, no, I'm not. You just have to say, if you're feeling a certain way, you're not. And the way that I
Oh,
kind of
actually, that's.
the
Uh-huh.
the way I shut off is I just don't engage. I mean, I'm still doing my work, but I just don't engage. And
Mhm.
so for me, I think at work was a realization today that, as human beings, we have to sometimes sit back and kind of say, don't engage, get your stuff together, get to work. And when you're feeling a little better, you can, begin to engage again. So that's the
Yeah.
first realization that, I mean, it's not like I can be at home sitting in bed and just doing whatever. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I still have to get back to work. So you kind of have to move your life forward. Let me. What did
Mm-hmm.
Rich say? He's acting crazy. He said, "How do you type with a bakla pinky?" Actually, this bakla pinky types really, really well, Rich. As an old man, I can still type, 65 words a minute, and I never used to be able to. And this really works pretty
Uh-huh.
fast. Thank you for asking, Rich. He's such a hater, huh? Going back to taking control of being in the driver's seat. Let's parse that out a little bit. Let's say, what car were you driving
Okay.
10 years ago and you were sitting in a passenger seat? And hey, Vince, and what car are you driving now in the driver's seat? Does that make sense?
Kind of not really, but I just last year was like for 2020, like when it first started, I just felt like the life I was living wasn't my life. And I went through a lot of anxiety, and then eventually like you get tired of just not doing anything, like just being like in the at home and just like in your feelings and stuff, and then you just kind of I just kind of wanted to just snap out of it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I
So
don't know.
you were in the passenger seat. Now you're in the driver's seat. You have control over, what you want to do. Go ahead and drink your coffee, girl. I drank my big old water. Um, now you're in the driver's seat. Where are you going in the driver's seat? Like, because in the passenger seat you have no control over how the car moves and where it goes. But in the passenger seat you don't have control. But in the driver's seat you do. So if there's a map in front of you, if you pulled up, I don't know, if you pulled up an app that said I'm going to go somewhere, Google Maps, for example, where's your life headed?
That's a very, very, very. I feel like that question is kind of
Broad.
it's a very big question for me, because right now
Where's
I'm
your
just
first
working on like
destination though?
the.
Where's your first? The question is, you don't always land in your destination, but where is your first planned destination?
Can you give me like an example? Because when you're
Yeah,
telling me about car and destination, I'm thinking of like places, like
a location,
going
right?
places, like
Eh,
Japan, Los Angeles, like what
let's say let's say you're in a parking lot and you represent your parking lot as something that's as your current life right now, right? Where your current life is right now. And you're going to drive off of the parking lot, you're going to get on the freeway. Where's your first destination? Where's your life headed to? Like as far as, goals and objectives in the near future.
to be honest, like right now, like I'm looking more towards like my finances and my career first. Is that what you're talking about?
Hmm. Yeah, that could
No?
be the first thing that's coming to your head. No, no, no. That's there's no wrong answer here. So that's the first, that's the first comment that came out of your mouth, meaning that's coming from your soul and your heart. So you're securing your finances and
Mhm.
your career, um, so that you can do other things, right? Because you can't do anything without it. Life is driven through money,
Right.
when you're trying to live through this world. So you have to secure those things. And right now, as far as your career, obviously you're doing well. You all often talk about, I made my goals, guys. I made my goals today. And you talked about your work. You have to be assertive. You have to learn to understand how a customer is walking
Yeah.
in, what the
Uh-huh.
buying window opportunity is. Um, and you don't seem that way. Here's the irony. When I look at you, I don't see you as an assertive salesperson, but I bet you are.
Oh, I'm very dominant.
And
But
that's the funny thing is that's a great gift to have, I think, as a woman, especially a P9 woman, who oftentimes is looked at as what? Docile, meek, my hin, those quiet type Asian women. And that's not you. And that's another reason why I was attracted. I was like, this woman got some spunk. There's some spunk about you. Um, and so
I'm
that's the
also
work.
very short.
You're very short.
So that makes, you know what they say about like short people or little people, like we're like pretty feisty.
Oh yeah, is that why Rich is the way he is?
Oh my god. Is it just me or is I'm not sure, but it's a little bit lagging. Is it lagging or
If you're listening to the live stream on your phone, then it's lagging. But if you're listening from
oh,
directly
okay.
from our thing, you're fine. That's the reason. So that's the reason why Rich is has a little spunk about him, because he's a little shorty. Is that what it is?
That's so cool.
I had to get Rich back
I
there.
thought you never met Rich in person.
I haven't, but he's the one that
Uh-huh.
said he's short.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm waiting for Rich to get back and come back at me, because you know
No.
how it is. Everyone is saying hello to each other. Is
Uh-huh.
anyone else that's new that walked in really quickly? To to Tasty Mommy is laughing at me. Tasty, don't laugh at me. Tasty was my first guest on my show last year, or in 2019. Um,
Uh-huh.
so she understands this process over here. All right, let me ask you a couple questions. Another
Oh,
question. What?
okay.
Don't make me go live later and throw some shade. You always throw shade, Rich. It's okay. Let me throw a little bit of shade on my own show.
They're like used to it.
Get used to
No,
it.
but I actually no, it would be my like finances career, but and also overall wellness actually, I think would be the
let's
biggest.
let's actually go there, because I think that's something that you discussed a lot about your fitness goals and taking care of your body, mind, spirit, and your heart. But let's talk about the physical part. There's something that your friends have been pushing you to do, and do um, some modeling of some sort. Tell us about that.
What do you mean by modeling? Like, no, I
Like
think
the
what you're trying to like
the fitness
like my
modeling.
fitness show, is that what you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it's not modeling. It's more of a goal that I set for myself like maybe almost 2 years ago, and it's to do a bikini muscle contest show.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. That's what it is.
so yeah, uh-huh.
Is that what something that
Hold on.
is that something you want to talk about in your podcast, or is that something that you want to do on your YouTube channel?
To be honest, not really. I feel
Or do you
like
want to keep that separate?
there's like a lot of pressure. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, especially since I've never done a show before and it's an actual competition. So it's not something I want to like broadcast first. It's something that I want to try, and then after the first show, then yeah, I'd be more comfortable in like documenting it or broadcasting it or whatever. But I'm
I
still
know
like a
that because
newbie, and I'm
there's
surrounded
plenty of
by
opportunity.
people that
there's plenty of opportunity in that too, though. Like starting from scratch and saying, "Here is my goal. This is what I want to do. Watch my journey." So there's opportunity to apply that
Yeah.
into a YK channel too. But again, it's all up to you and where you feel comfortable in doing it, because there could be points where, which is part of reality, is you may step back 3 or 4 steps because of something may happen and you don't make it to where you got to go. But that's part of the way that human beings kind of psychologically connect with you and say, "Oh shoot, she didn't do well, but we're going to push her to do
Mhm.
well." You can use an audience kind of as um, a psychological way to push you through.
Yeah.
Rich Bernard said, "Speaking
Uh-huh.
of mind and body, he needs a
Like,
smoke break." I'm also used to smoking too with you guys. So whenever Jess is smoking, I'm smoking. So she pulls out a cigarette, I go walk outside
uh-huh.
and go have a cigarette. Whenever at Adrian's life.
Hmm. But no, I
All right,
think I
cool.
just need more confidence within with like that fitness stuff first before I actually like take actual videos of it and stuff.
But I
I
think
feel like we're delayed.
are we? Is it my internet or yours?
I'm not sure, but I'm making sure I'm not watching it on my phone. My phone's not on it, but
I'm also what I'm I came off of my internet on my phone so that there's no delay on this side. There shouldn't be. So I'm using my data on that one. Sorry guys for the technical issues here. Um a question I had for you regarding spirituality is understanding deep truths. And what I mean by that, there was a conversation you had with Adrian related to understanding the separation of who you are at work and who you are at home, right? When you
mhm,
leave the office
mhm.
doors, you were trying not to bring who you are at work into your personal life. Tell me about that transition and how that came to fruition for you, like that understanding.
Uh-huh. To be honest, that's something that I'm still working on. I think shifting your energy, it's very hard to do when like you've been that's like all you knew for so long.
Yeah.
But no, I actually used to date someone who mentioned that to me. And then they were like, you need to turn off your work mode. You be in your work mode like even like after work. And I never really understood until actually I started dating Vince, and he's a lot more calmer, I would say, when it comes to energy.
Hmm.
And it like dating him shows me that wow, I'm like really in like my masculine, and like I need to learn how to receive and just that energy flip. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes, that does make sense. But where, at what point
Yeah.
did you? It was time. At what point in your life did you understand that it was time for you to submit? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm meaning that in a good way. Meaning, like, at what point did you understand that you weren't gonna fight anymore? You're just gonna let it be. Like you were gonna live your life as is, rather than trying to fight for something. Because I feel like all your life you've always had to fight for something. And so up until
Yeah.
now, until you understood yourself, you said, "Why the fuck am I fighting? Why the fuck am I so assertive? How the fuck do I have all this masculine energy? Do I really need it?" Um, at what point did that happen to you? Was it when you met Vince, or even before that?
It was after we already got together in a relationship, and being with somebody who's like more mature, you start to realize like a lot of things about yourself, especially if you're always trying to better yourself or be like self-aware, Yeah, it
Hmm.
was definitely like just last year.
Well, the cool thing is that you understood there was a volume to who you were. You weren't going to be on tens all day long, right? So you, at one point, you had to turn your volume down and say, "I'm going to come down to a 7. I'm not going. I'm no longer going to live my life on a 10, and be jumpy
Uh-huh.
because there's someone who won't appreciate that about me. There's something else about me that I still haven't explored, which is the quiet side of who you are.
Hmm. I don't
Does
know
that
if
make
there's
sense?
really it's weird.
Oh, I
But
think you're cutting out. You're cutting out there.
yeah, you're
Hold on a second.
to me you're
It is the
delayed.
little. It's one of us is delayed, but I'm hearing from the other side that everything
Yeah,
seems
I
cool.
don't
I don't know if it's the connection between you and me, or because the connection going out seems fine. Hey Tammy, Happy New Year, Miss Tammy. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. It is delayed, huh? I can feel it now too.
Yeah, because when you ask me a question, like sometimes like it gets choppy and then like I don't really know the full question you're asking me.
Oh yeah, I could see that because I can even see your screen moving, like oddly, like your screen is like jumpy. It doesn't flow, so
Hmm.
it might be actually coming from your side. I hope not.
Really?
I hope not.
Yeah. Maybe there's something on here.
Is the channel on that? Are you on a laptop?
Yes.
Is the laptop running any other
I think it's better
programs?
now.
Okay, it sounds like it.
I closed
Uh,
the other YouTube. Yeah, I
there you
think it's
go.
way better.
I think that might have been
Yay!
it
Okay,
too.
I'm happy
It doesn't seem like it's delayed anymore.
now.
All
Well, that
right,
was
cool.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, because what happens is when those two things are running at the same time, your YouTube's always going to be more delayed, and then it's taking
Hmm.
some of the Wi-Fi stuff too. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. We are, let's talk about it. It's talking about we normally talk about food, we talk about mukbangs, we talk about, foodie lifestyle, but you're not a foodie
Yeah.
so much. But I do want to ask some food questions. Tammy's saying hello. Mama
Hi.
Sandy says she loves the bonfire.
Hi,
Are
Mama
we
Cindy.
using are we using Adrian's Wi-Fi? Oh, shade. You're so shady. Hello, Mama Sunday. So I guess the question is, as far as food is concerned, because we were talking about food one time, you're like, oh my God, I like this food or I like that food. We were talking about Filipino food and all this other stuff. And
Mhm.
part of your fitness journey is also eating right for your body. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll ask you two questions. One, the first one is, what is your go-to Filipino cheat meal? And the second question is, what is your go-to fitness meal that you'll never get sick of?
Okay, so my go-to Filipino cheat meal is actually surprise Jollibee.
No surprise. Is there any particular item there at Jollibee?
I like the combo, the spaghetti with the chicken, but it's mainly because I
Mm.
have a best friend, and every time I have a cheat, usually before, I always eat with her, and she's always either craving Jollibee, tacos El Gordo, or Korean barbecue. So we eat like one of those things.
You
But yeah,
guys
that's
eat
my
well then.
go-to. Huh?
I said you guys eat very, very well then on your cheat day.
Oh yeah. And then as far as a meal that I won't get sick of, it would probably be the tilapia.
You
The
made up
coconut
tons of
shell.
tilapia the other night. I was like, girl, you
But
have like trays and trays and trays of baked tilapia. I was like, dang.
it's surprising because I thought that I would get sick of it, but it's actually pretty good. But me and Vince, we order meal prep from Mikey's Meals,
Yeah.
and his chicken I can never ever like get tired of just because he marinates it so well in like different sauces, and it's always tender, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get like for
Good
me to
chicken
even like
tender.
cook. Yeah.
It is hard to get in the right temperature and the right texture.
Hmm.
Tammy's Life says, how is my friend Bo and his peaches? He's doing fine, Miss Tammy. He's doing fine. He's actually asleep because he has to work early in the morning. So he's actually already in bed. Normally he's cheerleading me on over here in the couch, but he's in bed
Hmm.
already, trying to get his sleep in. Filipino food. What is your favorite dessert?
Ooh, I would say my favorite Filipino dessert is halo halo.
I just had a halo halo ice cream for the first time. Like the tropics kind, the tropics flavor that's like looks like a an ice cream pop, but it was halo halo and had everything in it.
Oh, was it the one that you uploaded? Or
No,
no,
that
that's
was
the Boba
that
one.
was the boba one.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had halo halo in a
I
long
just had
time,
the
but
halo halo one, and shame on me, I didn't turn on my camera and say, "You guys, I'm just trying out this halo halo one," because I did the boba one like that. Um, when it comes to we won't go into the spiritual side. We'll leave that for last. But let's touch
okay,
on a couple, like lighthearted stuff here.
okay.
Um, as far as like your age, you are 29, 31,
No.
30. Was it 31?
Yes.
Okay. Is it
But
Adrian that's under 30?
I can pass for high
You,
school, middle
you could.
school, 21. I can pass. Yeah.
You certainly can. You certainly
Yeah.
can. Uh, um, Now, where was I going with this? Oh, I was going with the 30-year-old self. What would your 30-year-old self or 31-year-old self tell your 5-year-old self? I said I was going to go lighthearted, but this may be heavy.
I would tell my 5-year-old self to stop worrying about things too much and just enjoy life and be happy and love yourself.
Right? It's that the irony here is the 5-year-old normally is more carefree,
Yeah.
right? So why
Yeah.
would you tell your 5-year-old that? Was your 5-year-old a nervous wreck?
No, I think my 5-year-old self was like always performing, like and always under pressure.
Oh,
Yeah.
performing in what way? Did you do music? Did you do dance? Did you do karate? Did you?
Oh, actually, yes, all of them, but
You're kidding me,
that's not what
really?
that's not what I mean. I mean like as in like always being happy and not and like my negative emotions weren't allowed. Like, does that make sense? Like performing.
What did Rich say? Rich said that he can pass for high school too. I bet you can.
No, you can't.
It's that height. But as soon as they could probably look at you from the back and say, "Oh yeah, look at this high school guy." He turns around and is like, "Oh no, he's a senior citizen." Um,
I'm
I will
dead.
tell you, my 5-year-old self, that you are loved. Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
our 5-year-old self, which is our inner child.
Tammy said we will never forget that live. It was one of the best. Oh Lord Jesus, Tammy, don't remind me. It sure was.
Why? What
Um,
happened?
we were putting up our Christmas tree last year, and Bo's crack was showing on our live stream while we were putting the Christmas tree decorations up, and he had
Uh-huh.
no idea. We both had no idea that his ass was showing, and it was on live. Because I'd put my phone over there and said, "Hey, watch us do our Christmas tree," and then his
Mhm.
ass was showing for at least a good 3 or 4 minutes, and we didn't know, but everybody in the chat knew. Everybody on YouTube knew.
Oh my
So I
god.
had to
Did
hide that.
you
I had to
say
hide that
anything?
live stream.
Oh.
So that's why Tammy's bringing it up a year later. That's so funny.
Mhm.
So tell me about some of the things you did when you were young. Then, like, what did you experience as far as activities? What did you enjoy?
Actually, I'm adopted. So
Mm-hmm.
when I came here when I was 5, my parents tried to see what I liked or what I would excel at. I tried piano, singing, Filipino folk dancing, tap dancing, ballet. I tried um what else did I try? Gymnastics, yeah, acting, like stuff like that. Pretty much everything.
Hey, GQ. Yeah, Mahalik, how are you, sis? That's another Jess, guys. This is Jess. This is
Hi.
also a Jess. This is Jess. Jess, meet Jess. That's
Nice to
another
meet you.
Jess I want to interview. I want to interview Jess. Yeah, Mahalik, Queen
Jessica is
Slut, you're
the
gonna come on
best.
my show. Jessicas are the best.
Yep.
So this is another Jess. I'm trying to make sure Jessica's DD doesn't show.
Oh.
Pull it up, girl. It was falling. I'm glad that he saw that because I didn't notice it. That is funny.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you, babe. He did text me too. He's like, make sure your nipples aren't showing.
Don't show the world. We won't have an ass crack, just like Bo was showing his ass. Um, the other day you mentioned something about, well, earlier you mentioned talking about books. Um, is there a book that you're into right now? And what is it?
Not necessarily a book, but just affirmations. I like affirmations because I'm a very emotional person, and my moods they always
How
change.
come
So
I can't tell that? You don't, I don't, I didn't know that about you.
you can't.
No.
Oh, I must be really good at masking my
You're
emotions.
very there's that you said earlier there's a masculine energy about you, and as I'm watching you, there is a masculine energy about you. But I didn't know that you were very emotional either. You don't tie the two together. You know, masculine person is not always emotional.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, for me, I'm not really reading like a book right now. I'm just working on like the affirmations. Hi.
Vince said that's for the OnlyFans. Is there something that is there anyone on YouTube that you watch religiously?
Religiously so far, just the to be honest, like the live streams, but but religiously, I would not really. I like to watch. I like to do like binaurals or like tapping or things like
I
that,
need
but
to
not.
I used to do the binaural beats all the time.
Oh, really? How come? And how did you like?
Just so that I could sleep well, because I used to have a
Mhm.
hard time falling asleep. Then I found melatonin, and I said, "Fuck the binaural beats. I don't need all of that." Um,
Really?
I hate sleeping with headphones on that are like, and they're gonna tangle me if they're wired. I
Mhm.
don't like using headphones that have Bluetooth in it because I don't know if I have it on all night. Right, I don't know
Yeah,
what's happening to my brain with it.
yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, let me not do that. I feel like there's radiation, there's that Bluetooth that's going through your brain and all this frequency stuff that's happening. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so do you have it on all night?
Um, I try to only do like an hour ones or 2 hour ones, not really like the whole full 8 hour ones. But to be honest, yeah, to
But
be
you
honest,
fall asleep within 30 minutes if they're
yeah.
good.
Vince will sometimes put it up for me, but I usually use it to help my anxiety. So like in the morning, I'll do like morning binaurals, or if I have anxiety, I'll do like anxiety ones or positive affirmation ones, like things like that.
Just to kind of keep you calm.
Yeah, not the night ones because I feel I'm scared of like dreaming sometimes. Like,
Oh, I've had those. They're really intense dreams, but they're not normally bad. But they're really intense in that it feels like you're really in them. Jess has
mhm.
a question. What's your sign, Jess?
I'm a Cancer,
Weren't we talking about this the other day?
Cancer Sun, Capricorn Moon, and then my Leo, Mars, and Venus are Leo.
Cancer in
My
the house. My dad is was a cancer. Tammy is calling it a night here. Thank you, Tammy. I will tell Bo you said hello.
Good night.
Rich said that's her witch. I'm rich. Vince said that's her witch music.
It's so funny because Vince isn't into like he's not really into like any of like the spiritual stuff. So anything that has to do with binaurals or moon stuff or zodiac, astrology, tarot, anything like that, he calls it my witch stuff.
That is funny.
Like, oh, that's your witch music. Like, yeah.
My Bo hates that because he'll in the middle of the night he'll look at me and he's like, "You have your headphones still on?" It's like, "Are you?" And I actually had him try it one night. He said he couldn't do it. He said it was too distracting for him. But for
Uh-huh.
me, it's extremely relaxing. Like when you
Yeah.
start to hear those beats, especially when it's coming off like this way, you know, the waves are going this way. It is really, really you get into this trance, which is weird. It feels like you're getting into a trance.
I think that's only because some people are more open to it. Some people are receptive to it. Some people are more conscious when it comes to things like that. So they're like receptive. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think that's what Bo is. He's like he doesn't believe it, so he's like whatever. But
Yeah.
when you do believe it, it actually melts a little bit better.
Mhm.
Vince says he likes tarot. Where's that coming from?
That's so. Oh, probably when you asked me about.
Oh,
Wait, no.
desserts.
Yeah. No, he calls the tarot cards ube.
Oh, he calls them the Uve cards.
Yeah.
That is funny. um, at 31, do you still see yourself having kids?
Yes.
So it's still early for you. Like prime age. I know. I remember at 20, I thought, oh, by 26, I'm going to be married. By 28, I'll have kids. Right? We all have these plans. Now it's 31. Um, you still plan to have kids, which is great.
Uh-huh.
I think women that look at life a little bit later when having kids. Of course, I'm not a woman, and I couldn't ever experience that. There's a maturity about it, the way that you know kind of live that life as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
But define for me what a mother would be like if I were to define if I were to say Jess as a mother, what would you say?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I would be great because I like actually am really good with kids. I would actually be like a what my friends they call me the funty.
Oh, you're the you're the fun
I'm
auntie.
the funty, but no, I think I would be like actually a great mother because I'm very like caring when it comes to people. I want them I care for them mentally, physically, emotionally, like everything, like all of it. But um as far as kids, that's if it's in the cards, then yeah, if it's not, it's okay.
So you're not it's not like a dying wish for you. Like you need to have kids, but if it happens, you're okay with it. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hmm.
That's good. I think that's a comfortable way of living, especially at 31. Um, saying if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that. There's not a huge yearning to have a child, but you're okay with having a child. But in your spiritual realm, do you feel like you have one?
What do you
Because, you
mean?
know, in your spiritual realm, you're a different person. You don't live in a 3D life, right? You live in a spiritual
5D?
level of understanding and a vibe. Yeah. There's a
Uh-huh.
certain vibe that you live on. And do you foresee yourself being a mom? Meaning, can you look inside and say, I am a mom?
Excuse me.
Because that's going to
Um,
happen.
it's so weird because I haven't really thought that far because right now I'm actually just um becoming aware of myself and like working on like my inner child and stuff like that. So I haven't really in my spiritual realm or whatever, I no, I haven't gone
You
that
haven't
far.
seen that yet.
No. What
You can't have kids from that side. How you know, Rich? Vince is a weak nutter, apparently. Oh, Lord Jesus, here we go.
excuse? Oh no, he gives me love explosions all the time.
Tell the truth, huh? Tell the truth and shame the devil. Rich,
And
Rich
I
is.
have my fitness competition stuff, so you know we have to take precautions. So
There you go. If here's a question about life stages. At 31, we often tie numbers and age to a certain stage in life. If there were 5 stages in life, five being the most complete, where are you right now in your stages?
I would say I'm in my third.
Yeah,
My
I
third.
was for some reason I was gonna say you're in your third
Yep.
because I'm also in my third. I think,
Smack
but
dab
at
in
the
the middle.
latter, I'm also in my third, but I think I'm in my latter end of third.
Uh-huh. I
I,
think
you
I'm
know,
in
I
my
feel
first.
like I'm going into my fourth soon, but I don't
Uh-huh.
know. It's just a weird feeling, like I'm headed into my fourth stage.
What is your
But
sign, by the way?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any
I get it.
Leo friends?
Oh yeah, most of my best friends are either Libras or Leos, and I my rising Mars and Venus is Leo. So
Leo. There's your male energy right there.
yep.
Um, most of my close friends are either Cancer or Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a Cancer. My mom
Who?
is a Libra. My dad.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay.
And my mom is a Libra.
Mhm.
So my mom really balanced our relationship because cancers and Leos can be extremely explosive
Yeah.
if it can be, but it was my mom that really balanced the both of us.
Yeah.
Explosive in a very domineering way, and I was the submissive one in that relationship, so because he was with a father, and some cancers, I'm not saying you are so we're so insecure that they won't even say it and they'll just throw it at you. And that's how they kind of live their life for years and years and years. And that's what happened to my dad, in that he fell into alcoholism, he fell into abuse, he fell into, mirroring what he was feeling inside and throwing it
Yeah.
out. And so he did
Addiction,
that to the kids, he did that to my
right?
mom. It's that projection thing. He was doing it all his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, like, oh, I'm not the issue. He's the issue. Um,
It's so cool
what?
because I just learned, like, I know I'm a late bloomer, but recently I just learned, like, not to take things personally, and it's like awesome.
It is,
Like,
right?
that's how they want to act, then whatever.
And
I
it
know.
wasn't until, later in life, in my, early 40s, that I realized, and you came early. I mean, you were doing it early enough to understand it, but I think it was until my late 30s, early 40s, where I understood that I have no control over how the fuck you act towards me. I have
Yeah.
control over the way I react to you. And
Yes.
it really unshackled me. Like
Mhm.
everything came off. Like, oh, so
I'm
that's what your
free.
thought is. Yeah, I'm here. I'm free. It's not affecting me anymore because I don't own what you say about me. And it took a
Yeah.
while to happen. Um, so yeah, I'm glad we're going through this because it's true. You unshackle yourself from those kind of relationships, and they don't feed you. But here's the irony of that. It also taught me who I am not. So through life,
Mhm.
you understand who you are. Through life, you also understand who you are not. It reinforces who you are not each and every single day. So
Mhm.
my relationship with my dad was understanding who I am not, and
Yeah.
rather than who I am, it reinforced who I am not. I'm not like
Mhm.
him. I'm not someone who's going to be an alcoholic. I'm not going to abuse anybody physically. I'm not going to
Mhm.
demean somebody. That's who I am not. So that reinforced
Yeah.
through my life until he got to the point where he couldn't do it anymore. Um, and so every experience that you have in life is allows you to understand who you are and who you are not.
Yeah.
So live that life, guys, and understand that you have control over who you are. Learn to understand that every experience is a vehicle that allows you to reflect on your soul.
Mhm.
You either take it and put into your heart and live that, or you don't. And you
Yeah.
have a choice to do either way. Either way. Let me see. Let's go back to
Do
a
you know
couple
about soul
comments here.
contracts?
Huh?
Do you know about soul contracts?
I've heard about that.
So, like,
What?
before, can I explain?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so before you came into the world, because your physical body is 3D, right?
Yes.
Okay, so but then there's like 5D, which is like the higher realm, the unconscious, spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, thingamaj thingamajig, which stuff.
Yep. 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 Yep.
But
You're speaking my language, girl. You're speaking my language. Go ahead.
yeah, so before you actually incarnated into your body, you made soul contracts, and basically whatever that is happening now in your life is something that you chose to happen to
Mm-hmm.
you, and you made contracts with certain souls, certain people, that that they would do, they would, that things would happen for your evolution, for your, you like, what do you call that, it's all for your growth, basically.
Yep.
So for example, like, we made a soul contract before we came into this
Engaged in
world.
Adrian's before we even engaged in Adrian's live stream. That's funny.
Yes, everything was already chosen, like pre-chosen by our souls. So everybody that you encountered, the person that cheated on you, the person that like broke your heart, like your parents, like all soul contracts. Is that weird?
No, it's not
Anybody
weird.
believe
And
in
I'll tell you something. Mom used to say stuff when I was younger, and she'd say something like this, and I'll say it in Tagalog, and it's almost the same thing. Yung buhay mo nakasulat na sa palad. And so that what that means is your life is already written in your palm. And she didn't mean it from a palm reading perspective. She meant it as soon as you were born, your life was already planted on your hand, and the people that you meet and the folks that you see and the experiences that you have already landed and are written on your hand. You just don't know it. So whatever
Mhm.
comes to you is what you're supposed to have. And mom used to say that when I was younger. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? And I was like, are you a palm reader? Do you know people that are
Yeah.
palm reading?" But she meant it from a 5D consciousness level. She
Yeah.
meant it as you're brought down to 3D consciousness to experience consciousness. And what that
Yeah.
means essentially is you experience consciousness through other parts of consciousness. And those are your soul contracts, meaning those are folks or those are spirits and souls that you have colluded with wherever you are, in the spiritual realm, to come back down into this physical form to experience consciousness. And so without other consciousness or other beings, that interaction, that soul karmic action won't happen.
Mhm.
You guys will eventually in the 3D realm meet with one another to be able to connect, right? So
Yes.
for you to say that, I was like, oh my gosh, we were speaking the same fucking language, because I feel like in I feel like in my higher level 3, where I'm going to level 4, that's what I'm going to experience. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting for that. I think I'm yearning for that to happen, like to
Mhm.
understand that 5D consciousness a little bit better, and where that's going to fit in my life moving forward.
Yeah.
So you feel like I get all energetic and all giddy when I talk about it, is because you understand it. Not a lot of people do. Um,
I think it took a while though, because first I delved into like tarot, and then I no, first I was into astrology, and then I got into like tarot, and then I saw like connections, and then I started reading about like manifestation, law of attraction, stuff like that. Everything interconnects, but I did read about like soul contracts before and like stuff like that. So
I think we could talk about that topic for a long time. In fact, I might bring you back up, and I'm gonna grab a book this month called something about 5D consciousness. I mentioned that I was going to get this book, and so I'm going to get into this book and probably do a reading on this channel about it, or have conversations about it, because I've been watching a lot about it on YouTube, and I've shifted recently from like the beef sector to 5D consciousness, which is really weird. Two
uh-huh.
different genres in the YouTube streets. Um, and I'm loving this 5D consciousness, conversations that people have in living in that kind of truth. So yeah, I can't wait to have you back and do something like that. You'd be interested?
Yes, but you know what, you have to also be really careful. Like, I'm just saying this to everybody, because you can really, like, if you're not balanced enough or you're not strong, like you can really get sucked into like all that occult stuff, you know?
Right, right. If
Yeah.
if if you, I think, if you align yourself into that type of realm,
Yeah.
but if you do it on your own individually, and you have small conversations with individuals, I don't see there's an issue with that. But when you get into a larger group, uh, when it gets into that cultish type of feel,
Yeah.
no,
I'm just saying it can be
beware.
not a lot of people understand that it's more of a spiritual type of thing, not like a occult type of thing, like a
Right,
more
right. It
zen
is.
and
It's individual.
free will, law of attraction, manifestation
Mm-hmm.
type
Mm-hmm.
of stuff.
All right. Well, Miss Jess, we are getting into a little over our hour here. Is there anything that you want to tell her? I can't believe an hour already went by. And sometimes what happens is we're having fun. You just like, do you have to pee? Because it looks like you have to pee. You're like,
But I'm not
is
gonna
there?
make the same mistake as last time, okay?
Don't
I don't
bring
know
your
what's
don't bring your speaker in. We're heading to an hour. We're going to wrap it up here in just a little bit. I'll let you go pee before we'll end this, and then you can go pee. But is there any final words you wanted to tell our audience? I want to just say thank you guys for being here for Miss Jess and allowing us to have this conversation on the show. And don't forget to check out her page as well, which is on there, which she mentioned today. It's going to be going into a podcast. So although she may have this page here, she may be putting her podcast up on this page. So make sure you guys follow that page, or she'll be able to direct you to where her podcast may be going, and her YouTube journey if she decides to go that way as well. Any final words, Miss Jess?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that came to watch the podcast today. And I just want to say thank you as well to you, Creative. I feel like really blessed and happy that I'm surrounded by such talented, supportive people. So, yeah.
You're so, I was going to say, did I put this on mute? You're so welcome. I am so glad that I've had the opportunity to meet you and to run into you. You know, it feels like whenever you meet people, it's not by surprise, but it is. And so I
Mhm.
think I ran into you in the most opportune time in someone's live stream who was going 31 days, and I just happened to be supporting every single day. And here comes Jess, and we get to know her for 21 days. So thank you for allowing me to meet you and to ask questions and to engage with you as well. You're extremely easy to talk to. And I think every time you mentioned something about spirituality, my heart just perked up and I was like, I want to ask more questions. So I'm glad you're able to come on here.
Let's do a spirituality one. We'll do that one.
Yeah,
And you're welcome.
we will do a spirituality one. I think that'll be really cool. But um, I think that is it. Do you have any questions for me?
I
We're
just
gonna
want
make
to
it
know.
your show. You have to go
Yes.
pee.
I just want to know how often you plan to do a podcast like this
I
now
think
that.
after this, I'll be working overtime a lot starting next week. So probably after the end of January, early February, I'm going to be starting to do it once a week.
Mhm.
Um, I think I have two guests that I have planned again in January, but we have to work out some dates. Rick Rock Foodie is one of them.
Mhm.
And I've asked of several other people to be on the show too. So I'm planning to go once a week. I was doing it twice a week, which was hard. I might just
Was
do it
it?
once a week.
It was hard.
Well, for me, I think it was for me because the preparation part was a little bit difficult.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so for me it was. Maybe for you it might be different because I have other content that I have to do, right? So I have my
Oh
mukbangs that I do.
yeah, you're right.
So that's why it's a little bit more difficult because you add you do your live streams and you do your content on top of that. You're talking about five things a week, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, how do I catch up? You know, you can't. Plus editing. I mean, editing is really hard. To depending on what you're doing. So I think it's going to be once a week.
Okay.
Yep,
I will
more
watch
committed
like
early February, but you
podcast.
know, you'll always see it a few days before on the thing as a live stream. So.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out with us on the show tonight. You guys are grounded. Stay that way. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Jess.
You guys
Oh,
are
you're
grounded.
so welcome. I'm so glad you came by. I
Aw,
miss you. I'm
me
going to have
too.
Jess on the show. Jess, are you willing to come up? I'll have this Jess come up and we're going to talk about life and casino slots. Um, what's I going to ask? That used to be my other love too. I fell into that.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Like
that was my 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago life of going and gambling. In fact, my first channel was a gambling channel. It was a slot channel prior to this one. So look at he's laughing. All right, guys, thanks so much. We will see you guys on the next one. Just hold on there while we close this out.